Alright, let's keep on playing. After being approached by our officers, Cassandra Hicks and Lucas Romano entered a vehicle and proceeded to speed away, resisting arrest. The officers pursued and roadblocks were established. After a 10-minute chase, the suspects crashed into a lamppost, rendering their vehicle unusable. Before our agents could initiate communications or attempt to subdue them, the suspects rushed inside nearby veterinary clinic. At the moment, the suspects have barricaded the clinic's exit. We know at least one of them is armed. Phone communication has been established with one of the suspects, Cassandra Hicks. She has yet to make any demands, although she claims they hold 2 hostages. As the lead agent of the Liberation Front Task Force, you have been asked to take over the negotiations. Our prime objective is the safe extraction of the 2 hostages, with the secondary objective being the surrender of the 2 suspects. Headquarters has informed us that if we fail to negotiate a peaceful resolution, they have a SWAT team on hold and ready to move in when time runs out. Cassandra Hicks is currently employed at a company that offers consultation and logistical support to various labor unions. She has been fined multiple times for undeclared protests, staging unsanctioned city march, as well as breach of non-disclosure agreements. Hicks is a graduate of City University with a master's degree in political science. She has also volunteered for several NGOs, ranging from community soup kitchens to programs that provide education for children in difficult social situations. Through her online social profiles, we have identified Amethyst Garcia as a romantic interest. We have reached out to him, and he has agreed to assist us. He's on his way and will be available for questioning once he arrives. Lucas Romano was a young student at City University, having been expelled after several harassment, loitering, and trespassing charges, which result from Romano and a few others trying to disrupt the events of some local politicians. He's a known member of several extreme left political and activist groups. He's also the son of Matteo Romano, a wealthy and popular land developer whose investment in the city have been very successful. Amethyst Garcia is an identified life partner of Cassandra Hicks, according to their online social profiles. He's an embedded system programmer and a mountain climbing enthusiast. He's being brought in for questionings. Alright, let's patch Hicks through then. We need to do this probably. Let's let the nice... Okay, let's talk. Let's see how we can make sure nobody dies today. Oh, fuck off, like you have any interest in Lucas or me not dying. You have exactly 5 minutes to clear the street in front of this place. Land a pilot helicopter in front of it with 500,000 unmarked bills inside. I'm putting this shit on a stopwatch, so don't fuck with me. It runs out, people die. Tick-tock, bitch. I would actually prefer to see your face adjusted. Yes, not gunned down. Our justice system is the most broken thing in the whole rotten establishment. Fuck your courts, pig. Why is the Liberation Front? What you doing, Cassandra? What do you fucking know about the front? This is not in line with the front's objectives. What the fuck do you know about that? You seem like noble heroes now, but people will forget about all this in a year or so. They might, but this will be part of a legacy. I'm not your endgame copper. This is not what the front believes in. You have no idea what we believe in, copper. Hiding behind civilians undermines the message of courageous revolution. Fuck off, get me my chopper. There's a better way to do this, Cassandra. Oh really, stupid me never thought about it. You'll be able to speak out from prison. Advance your ideas peacefully after you did your time. I don't think she will buy it. The Liberation Front will see you as a liability after a stunt like this. Fuck you, get me my chopper. When you're taken down by snipers, you'll seem like an idiot, not martyr. Fuck you. Cassandra, this is not like you. Oh, what the fuck do you know about me? You volunteer to help those in marginalized communities, not to put guns to those communities' heads. You manipulative shit. You just came out in the scheme. You were never supposed to die for that plan. So you not intend to murder me, you admit it. This is not a fucking hotline, so drop it with the personal stuff. Her boyfriend has arrived. We need to talk to him. Thank you for coming. So Amethyst, you need to help me prevent your girlfriend from getting gunned down by our SWAT team. Now tell me what was going on before I came in. I wasn't aware that it was all that bad. How was the relationship going between you and Cassandra? Good, I thought. Did she seem content? She can't have been too emotionally available if she has some kind of terrorist coordination to do behind your back. I guess not. I guess she wasn't really there, and that I miss it. So how do you feel about all this? Well, so much was hidden from me. Were you two happy together? Very much so, which is what makes this whole situation even more shocking. I know this is a difficult time. Your relationship is also important to Cassandra, and thus to me. Have you made up your mind? Where do you see it going from now on? I don't know yet. I'm still considering all this. Let's talk about something else. How much did you know about her dealings with the Liberation Front? I had no idea. I knew she was into politics and all that, but nothing like this. Did you and her ever talk about the front? Now that you mention it, she did say that she thought that outrage was justified, but she said that sort of thing a lot. I didn't make much of it. She's in there with Lucas Romano, probably assigned to her by the front. Know him? I don't. I know her though. I assume she kept me away from all this to protect me. She had extreme political views. She labels herself a revolutionary. Yeah, absolutely, but that fight for justice is part of what I fell in love with, you know. Big of a sign, huh? That extreme views can lead to extremist actions, I guess. Didn't you notice her spending time with anyone suspicious? She had a lot of these extremist friends, Stalinists, communists, Antifa dudes, that sort. And you don't think that it would be a question of time before they use her for their cause? Maybe I should have been considering that, yeah. Are you involved with the Liberation Front? Huh, no, why would it be here if I was? Maybe the Liberation Front forced you. No, that's absurd. But maybe that's what they did to Cassandra. Okay, we need to go back to her. I have someone here with me, Cassandra. I have Amethyst here with me. Fuck you, Scuzzbro. How dare you try to use him against me? I really think you would like to know what he has to say. Trying to use him against me like this is bullshit. He has something he wants me to tell you. Fine. It's very hurt that you kept so much of your real life from him. Tell him I'm sorry, but I had to do this. He's very worried about you. Yeah, well, no shit. I know it has nothing to do with this, but you have to realize your actions affect him. Fine, go ahead. Again, he's very hurt that you kept so much of your real life from him. He's really worried about you. You need to charge him the conspiracy. Fuck you. We need more time to get what you want, Cassandra. What the fuck you need more time for? Well, I'm having trouble convincing City Hall to spend the money. I need more time. Listen, explain it to those corrupt pieces of shit that if they want to at least pretend they give a shit about their citizens, they need to get this fucking cash fucking now. 3 more minutes to do it. Our blood is on your hands and theirs. I need you to release the hostage, Cassandra. These people are the only thing preventing you from murdering me. You need to give us at least one of the hostage, Cassandra. Fine. I'm fucking sending out the girl. I'm keeping the guy. Clock's still ticking. How's the hostage doing in there? It's fine, fucking dandy, and he will remain so as long as you get my damn demands on time. I need you to turn yourselves in. And I need a fair fucking system for human beings, but it's sometimes tough to get what we want. You've got nothing in there, Cassandra. Turn in. Lucas and I still have the guy. The chopper was probably not coming, Cassandra. Staying in there longer just wasn't your case while advancing it in no way. Oh, God damn it. At least you're honest about it. Still no dice. This won't change the system, Cassandra. Even if it doesn't, I still have to get myself to safety from you psychos. You know how it is. Listen, I'm Mr. Romano. Hell no. Let's put Mr. Romano on the phone. No. Do you need anything in there? Need what? I told you what I need already. Anything choice words you want added to your obituaries? Fuck you and your death-threatening pig-ass. These people die if that time runs out. Fuck no, I don't need anything except that damn chopper and money. Move it. You don't give a fuck about that. You're just looking for an angle to manipulate me. I told you there's a better way to do this. Yeah, it involves you getting me my money and my chopper and getting the fuck out of my face. Fuck you. Is there any way we can calm her down? They say nothing. I can't do anything. This guy, he doesn't know anything. Sorry, I can't remember anyone in particular. Oh, it's the girl. Thank you for coming, Miss Logan. We need your help. Of course. I am glad you're alive. The people in there are committed terrorists ready to kill for their cause. Oh, they look like, and they're not. Almost imperceptibly. What was going on in there? They just look now shaking and unable to speak. Anything we can help with? Fuck, she's not saying. Ah. Oh dear God, no. It's clearly over. She's not who I thought she was. Maybe I can convince her about this. I have Sylvia here with me. The doctors say she will be fine. Cool, good. I have to talk about your boyfriend. He says you two are over, but you knew you were sacrificing your relationship when you decided to do this. Oh, I see. That's none of your business. You need to turn yourselves in. You know, you've got nothing in there, Cassandra. Turn in. Look at it, and I still have the guy. How are we going to convince her then? I don't know. Only way this man's coming out is when I go to my motherfucking chopper. We're having trouble reaching a judge to approve all this. Tough shit. If you don't get that stuff, people will die because of your broken ass system. We're having trouble convincing a pilot to give themselves up as a hostage. Look, tell them they'll be fine. I have nothing against the guy. He'll be going home after the drop off. You get 3 more minutes, explain it to them. Okay, I managed to buy me some more times, but how the fuck am I supposed to convince her? The boyfriend is not going. We're getting through this, but I think we can reason with them. Okay, good, I hope so. What is going on in there? Anything I can help with? You're not helping us at all. I know you're in shock, but god damn. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Don't be an idiot and make me call the snipers to take you down. Fuck you. Fucking fine. Last thing I'm fucking giving you. Here comes out my chopper lens. Do it. Oh shit. You know, you've got nothing in there, Cassandra. I still have my hostage. Cassandra, it's over. The voice shakes, not confident. Yeah, okay, I'm coming out. Don't fucking gun me down. Oh my god, we managed to convince her. Holy shit. We did it. Nobody died. That's what's important right there. Interrogation successful. Hicks and Romano detained. No victims. Hostage taker surrenders. Breaking news. Developing story. Channel 47 News Live. Man, that was so close. 2 individuals, Cassandra Hicks and Lucas Romano, suspect of being linked with the terrorist bombings perpetrated by the group known as the Liberation Front, today attempt to evade capture and initiate a hostage situation. The Shooting Order Special Unit was tasked with negotiating a safe release as well as the surrender of the 2 suspects. An intervention squad was ready to rescue the hostage in the event of an unsuccessful negotiations. The special unit already had been sent to background the perpetrators. The suspects, which have no past criminal record. Known radicals demand large sum of money as well as the means to exit the country, whether they made their allegiance to the Liberation Front during the negotiations, and claim their actions were motivated by religious reason, monetary ambitions, radical ideology. The hostage were unharmed by the suspect and were eventually released and are now under close medical supervision. Violently, no, unharmed. Cassandra Hicks and Lucas Romano have been incarcerated and are currently being held for further questioning. We strongly believe this development will allow us to end the Liberation Front threat, better understand the motives, prevent future plots. We ask anyone that might have information pertaining to the investigation to bring it to the attention of the authority. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one. Hopefully it is good enough for those goddamn people. But we're not so sure. Things are finally looking up. Between Ennis, Wilson's testimony, Adams, the details from Novak, and now Hicks and Romano, we've gathered lots of insight and are finally getting the critical mass to tie more of the leads together. We're going to get cracking on proving the case, as many of these suspects are beginning to look like clear-cut Liberation Front members. Pick an old memory. Holy shit. What's this? Nose of steel. Your psychic holds up. While faced with traumatic events, I am an instrument, no more guilty for my actions, and a scalpel. Good host. You can treat your interrogation subject really well when you want to. Check the bottom drawer during. Ask them max brutality. You are very, very good at being rough. I can make you see your other eyeball. Well, I don't want that. Or abort. You have come to learn a controversial enhanced interrogation technique. Waterboarding gives the subject a distinct sensation of drowning without major damage to the lungs. The truth will surface eventually. I don't like it. I don't want to use it. Unstable genius. You're not all dead, but the parts that are always usually come back with brilliant ideas. It's been statistically shown that sociopaths do not have greater intelligence. Listen to the numbers, for they sing the truth. Framing artists. You have mastered the cruel practice of framing your subjects for crime they have not committed. And you can press the accusation to your advantage. Framing artists. Confirm. Consult Professor Lavinia Olara, who teaches university course on political ideology and radicalization by the Liberation Front. And I should have ordered the HR report for this. I think. Mayor Pedro has kindly asked that you speak to another reporter, and Chief Anderson has signed off on it too. This is Patricia Becker, perhaps the city's most respected journalist. Good day, officer. Tristan, you're too kind. And I just want to assure you, officer, that this interview will be fair and open. I'd be happy to Miss Becker this way. The recent attacks have taken a great toll on the community. What is your message to those that have lost loved ones in the explosions? We're all affected. Dismantling the front must be a common effort. And I would ask the public to report any suspicious activity. Only constant vigilance will prevent such tragedies in the future. The authorities seem to always be one step behind the front. Who do you blame for that? We have discovered many of their plots, neutralized many of their members. We're getting closer to ending them once and for all. Are you now? The front seems to be well funded and coordinated. Who do you suspect is supporting them? And if you choose this one, it might be really bad for you. I suspect hostile. I cannot comment on an ongoing investigation. You have talked to many front members. How would you describe them? Most of them are just misguided or have been manipulated. The leaders are the true devils here. What do you think attracts these people to the front? I believe the front echoes their own ideology or beliefs in a way no other cause does. You have successfully handled a hostage negotiation. Does this mean the Liberation Front is willing to negotiate? No, we should not start from that premise. They are an enemy that does not seek compromise. Individual members might, but I doubt their leaders are willing to accept anything but a total victory. Worrisome. We still haven't received any public demands. What is the front after? They are anarchists rejecting any authority or government. Protesters have argued your imprisonment of Prince Gabriel Adams is just the government finding a scapegoat behind its inability to stop the front. Comments. Priests are not evil can hide anyway. He's guilty, and that is all we should look at. All we should look at. Why has the press not been allowed to talk with the convicted Liberation Front members? We have released press statements describing our findings on a regular basis. We do not wish to give these people a platform to spread their dangerous ideas. Do you believe this movement is a national, even a global one? Absolutely, this is what makes them dangerous. Do you agree with those saying that the authorities should be allowed to use enhanced interrogation techniques? No, we must maintain our principles. Finally, what would you say to those that sympathize with the front's message? Your anger is justified, but history has proven that violence is never a right answer. Noted, thank you. Yeah, let's try to answer that as best as I can. If I may briefly interrupt you with a social matter. The team is partaking in socializing at Hennigan's tonight. Would you like to join us? You know what? Fuck them. Sure, I see you all there. We need a break. I don't give a fuck. Later that night. Mayor paddles just way too hard. She has to be the kiss. I'm confident in picking her for Mary. So you're killing Damascus Reed? Why not Mary instead? Into all that startup millionaire money. Oh, I'm sure he remains in the kill category. Boss, y'all go. And since we're doing people in high place, kiss, marry, kill. Chief Anderson, Patricia Baker, and with the heroic. Nice. And Tristan, that guy from City Hall. Who's gonna be? I'll be kissing Chief Anderson aggressively. I married Patricia Becker. Maybe improve our press coverage. And unfortunately kill Tristan by elimination of the other options. Ooh, the bigger table has cleared. Let's move over. We have narrowed down a list of 4 perps that have virtually certain LF members. The evidence is overwhelming. Benno Weiss, then Anton Drasko, Linda Bailey, and Helene Kufos. Each one of the last 3 is linked to one of the attempt bombings. The prosecutors agree we can book them on the face value of the evidence alone, so get ready to question. Let me see. Oh fuck. The popularity remains the same. The press and authorities' approval is going up a little bit. Without and Doug never seem to know anything more than can keep digging deeper though. Consult Academic assigned to Tab Thompson. Success. Lobby for donations. Qualifying our suggestion as crass. Okay, whatever. Your HR report is ready. File is classified. Motivation level low. Who is the Liberation Front? By Patricia Baker. Oh, it's from her. Strike back. No kings, no destiny. Lady luck, blah blah blah. Again, if you really want to read all this, just pause the video. Yeah, this is the first part. I'll give you guys 3 seconds to do it. 1, 2, 3. Now for the lower parts. Yeah, that should be enough time for you guys. Anyway, let's continue on. Professor Olaru is waiting in the meeting room to speak to you. She has rich insight into the ideology of such groups. She can surely enlighten us about the Liberation Front's essence. Hello, Dr. Olaru. Thank you for agreeing to aid us. Don't worry, sweetheart. Please tell me, what do you want us to talk about? Let's talk a bit about the background. Oh my, crunch is mine. If I knew this would be a date, I would have put on some better clothes. Why did you decide to go into the academic life? What is a more wonderful thing to do than to corrupt the blank minds of little innocents with an understanding of their own ignorance, as well as the desperation that comes with an insatiable hunger for knowledge? What do you believe in? Good conversations over a cup of coffee, whatever I see, touch, or hear, and the power of the human mind to believe that what they believe in is actually real. Then how do I know you do not believe in the Liberation Front? With your knowledge, you might as well be their lead coordinator. Yeah, if I would tell you I believe in democracy, human rights, the free market, and the national state, would that dissolve your suspicions? What do you believe in? Good conversation, okay. Who is your favorite writer? Oh my little honeybee, you're just like my freshman students, you know that? How could I choose between my babies? They're all wrong and right in their own unique ways, and that's why I love all of them, except for Kant. He's just a dick. I understand you teach ideological studies. What does that mean exactly? Well, I couldn't help it. All my colleagues flaunted their fancy course names, so I had to step up my game. I couldn't just say that I teach ideology, so dull. That's why I came up with the name. It's wonderfully obscure, isn't it? You can keep on giving me nicknames. Can you explain me? You keep on giving me nicknames. Can you please explain why? Don't take it personally, Gingerbomb. I am just horrible with names. In this world dominated by identifiers with too many syllables, one must evolve or face a terrible social debt. You seem pretty weird. And you're incredibly dull. What is ideology exactly? Such a wonderful question. It's technically just a coagulated system of normative axioms and theorems without epistemic functions, which form the basis of personal or societal policy. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Liberation Front's ideology. Very well, darling. And later on, we shall talk about your department's ideology. What is the Liberation Front's ideology? I talked to my students the other day about this. It's not a single ideology, but rather an umbrella of ideologies with a common anarchist backbone and divided into 3 branches. You talked about 3 ideological branches of the Liberation Front. Could you please describe them? Well, darling, it's quite complex. 2 of them fall someplace on the individualistic and collectivistic anarchism spectrum. The 3rd one is a weird mixture with a lot of influence from international relations realism. Let's talk about this collectivist wing of the Liberation Front. Very sugar, then tell me, what do you know about this? I think this is something you should tell me. Anarcho-collectivism believes in a hierarchy-less, private property-less, and stateless society. In it, the common ownership of the means of production and a culture of empathy and social duty would allow for even the disenfranchised to prosper. What would you say is the main argument against collectivist anarchism? Angel, there are many arguments, but only some that have not already been tackled by propaganda. I can tell you my opinion of what would be most persuasive for believers of this ideology, but first let's hear what you think. The more charismatic will be able to gain power by manipulating the collective. Collectivists' needs are not respected. Very interesting. Yes, this may or may not work. Is there anything particular about the Liberation Front's belief in collectivism? Well, sweetie, yes. It is left anarchistic in nature, but other than that, I'm certain there is a plethora of different sub-ideological beliefs held by different members. Do you have any works you suggest I should read to further understand this ideology? Oh, but there are so many. Bakunin was the first to call for a violent revolution of the economically oppressed, instigate through terrorism, which he called propaganda by the deed. Then you can read Marx or Kropotkin and so many others. Were there any other terrorist groups in history that follow a similar ideology? Well, the more successful ones were collectivists, but not anarchists from the Bolshevik Revolution. There were, however, a few anarchists that succeeded in holding some territory for small amounts of time, such as the Spanish anarchists during the Civil War in the 30s. How does the Liberation Front manage to spread its ideology? I don't know, sweetheart. It is not me running an investigation on them. I guess the usual methods: key people who influence their social notes, and the disgusting usage of subtle media nudge. Okay, what do you mean by subtle media nudge? Well, everyone does it so much we barely notice it. Do you remember that scandal about that take in social media company topics and then manipulation of people's online news recommendations? Imagine that is just the tip of the iceberg. What do you mean by key people influencing their social notes? Oh, excuse me, Sticky Puff. I sometimes talk in academia gibberish. That's how you get tenure. What I mean is that folks just love agreeing with those respect. So if you get some influential people to preach for you, it's easy to spread your message. Yes, that's the reason why those Instagram people, they're receiving so much money for the advertisement of some group or some corporations. Yeah, to spread the message. Now let's talk about this individualist wing of the Liberation Front. Well, cutie pie. Then, well, tell me, what do you know about it? I think this is something you should tell me. Teachers have hate lectures too, you know. Wherever it goes as such, individuals' needs are best achieved when no other individual or state restrict their freedom to use their body and property to pursue happiness. Only voluntary transactions are moral, and as such, they drive economic growth and social progress. What would you say is the main argument against this anarchism? Dear, if you want to debate with these people, you must think about the argument which will be the most persuasive to the believers. I can tell you my opinion, but first let's see what you think. That in such a society, entities that accumulate massive wealth gain the power to block competition through de facto regulation. They will block markets that otherwise work well. That in such a society, the most wealthy will also own all the weaponry, allowing them to oppress everyone. Now, such a society culturally push people to be as greedy as possible. This will limit humankind's ability to grow through cooperation. I think this is the first one. Very interesting. Is there anything particular about the Liberation Front's belief in individualism? Well, precious, yes, it's anarchistic in nature, but other than that, I'm certain there's a plethora of different sub-ideological beliefs held by different members. Do you have any works you suggest I should read to further understand this ideology? Fist of Puff, there's so many of them. Start with William Godwin and Max Stirner. But to really understand it, you also need to read a bit of Austrian school economists. Were there any other terrorist groups in history that had a similar ideology? There were a number of small European movements at the end of the 19th century which boasted a similar ideology and mostly conducted assassinations of politicians. Of course, there's a whole gathering of violent libertarians, secessionists in the US. Let's talk about this third wing of the Liberation Front. You said it is a form of anarchism inspired by international relations realism. Please tell me about it. Holy shit. Can I even... Wow, I can't even drag this down. Wow. It is only the lazy that wants answer and not questions. Not yet. This anarcho-realist seems to believe that humans should always struggle for power and that the mainstream ideology grants the ruling class power in exchange for harmful comfort. Without such, people would organize in small warring communities and in the long term strengthening the species in an evolutionary sense. What do you say is the main argument against this realist anarchism? Honey, if you really want to debate the indoctrinate, then you need to think of the arguments they haven't heard and don't know how to tackle. I can tell you my opinion, but first let's see what you think. That in such a society, one's safety is only achieved by eliminating threats. This will push the powerful few to conquer and oppress the weak majority. That in such a society, people's animalistic aggression would be culturally amplified, which would allow them to implode upon themselves. That such a society could exist when human destructive capacity was limited, but not in today's world, in which nuclear bombs can wipe out the entire cities. This is the only thing you're going to give me, huh? Is there anything particular about this belief in this ideology? Oh dear, yes. It is anarchistic in nature, but other than that, I am certain there's... Okay, you're going to say the same shit again. Do you have any works you suggest I should read? Well, this is a sub-ideology with the least history, but I guess you could read some insurrectionary anarchists like Wolfie Landstracher, some anarcho-primitivists like John Judson, and obviously some international realists like Kissinger. Oh, that guy is way too famous. Were there any other terrorist groups in history? Well, what can argue that even fascism in all its forms, from traditional Italian fascism to white nationalism, is just an expression of the same type of philosophy that stands in the core of this ideology, that the strong should freely be allowed to rule the weak. So we have asked about everything here. How does the Liberation Front reconcile the ideological difference between its members? How do most couples stay together? By not talking about the issues and by projecting idealized scenarios of how everything will be fine. There's no logic-based reconciliation, as much as those 20th century anarchists without adjectives would like us to believe. So we can stop them by making them think about the difference. Bravo, bravo, they do teach you something at the Police Academy, Defy at Impera. What is the main incompatibility between the collectivist and the individualist wing? Wonderful. I love playing spot the difference. Let's do it this way. You tell me what you think, and I'll tell you if your assumption is correct or not. It's simple. One depends on the existence of private property, the other one depends on it not existing. This is simple. Greed is fostered by the culture of one and subdued by the culture of the other. Monetary policy in an individualist society must surely be based on a fractional reserve system to keep interbank interest rates low, which cannot happen in a collectivist society. Yeah, do you need us to take a break? Oh, so that was not correct then. No, she's not going to talk about it. Between the realist and the collectivist wing. There are many, and only by thinking of them all do you begin to grasp which might be the hardest to solve. Go on. Humanist ideological roots, while the other one holds to its what? Collectivist anarchism doesn't oppose modern living based on mass production, just its private ownership. The realist wing believes in the self-sufficient small communities which cannot sustain mass production. Collectivist anarchism fosters a culture of solidarity so as to allow large-scale collaboration as opposed to the realist wing believing in evolution through the conflict between communities. I think this is a 1. This may be a reasonable point, but it's rather wrong. Collectivist anarchists don't argue that in their ideal society, everyone would love everyone. Well, at least smart ones don't. What is the main incompatibility between the individualist and the realist wing? I think the individualist wing opposes any kind of social hierarchy, always supporting economic hierarchy. The realist wing believes in competing communities that can only survive with clear leadership. I think the individualist wing believes in economic freedom rooted in an inalienable right to private property, why the realist wing believes that there's only that possession of what they can defend. I think the individualist wing's ideology is incompatible with the nationalistic fervor that the realist wing tries to foster. I think this is 1. Well, I don't think any individualist would be against having leadership in small communities as long as said leadership or participation within the community is voluntary. Holy shit. Man. This is going to fuck me over. Turn yourself in. Really? You going to tell her that now? Let's talk about how liberation but can be defeated. But isn't it obvious they need to be stricken down by the mighty sword of justice? Do you know any other similar organization in this story? Well, anarchist terrorists have existed for millennia. Even in this city only a couple of decades ago, there were some attacks from such a group. They call themselves the Burgundy Riots because of those lovely red graffiti paint they use. How were these Burgundy Riots squelched? From what I remember, the leadership was caught and this managed to slow down the movement's growth rate, enough for it to implode from internal strife. What was the biggest difference between the Burgundy Riots and the Liberation Front? Oh dear, so many differences. Annabelle Lee does a superb in-depth analysis of this in The Sociologist. It comes down to the Burgundy group failing to understand that without going global, the mainstream ideology apparatus crush you. How would you work towards stopping the Liberation Front? Well, any ideological fight is rhetorical in nature. Fight words with words, honey, not with guns. You just have to figure out what words will break the illusion of their words. You don't need me to spell it out for you. You tell me to fight words with words, but not which words. Oh, darling, but you already know the answer. They're not special, you just need to show it to them as well. The wonders of history, a flower that blooms with different colors, but the same shape, and which will shrivel sooner or later. I have connections. It's not uncommon for professors to lose their tenure, so tell me how to stop them. I understand, officer. In that case, I better hurry back to the university and send you my report from there. Let's talk about something else. You can't keep on not responding clearly to some of my questions. Here we call that obstruction of justice. Alright, then I stop answering them. Bye. Only Manuel was I couldn't get yet. I'm sure he's hiding with his uncle out of state, so it might be a while. But the other three are in. Full-time Mom Linda barely seemed to have handled our security guard Wilson. Anton Drasko, porn producer, seemed to have provided explosive for Father Gabriel. And Helene Kufos, a yoga instructor, was in very close contact with our hostage taker Cassandra Hicks. Helene is deaf-mute, so we brought in an interpreter for you. Tap has prepped you the case file on them. They're all set to go in the interrogation rooms. Crazy thing is, they didn't even fight. They have already confessed to being with the front, all three of them. So the stakes here are whether you can extract from them the next move the Liberation Front will make. Go get them.